Hello everybody and welcome to Nathan on Shuffle and to this latest edition of New Music Weekly. It's September 9th, 2022, and this is the weekly show where I talk about the latest prog news headlines of the week. I give you guys some prog singles in the description that you can check out, and just talk about what's happening with my channel and all of the great things that are coming through the pipeline for Nathan on Shuffle. So thank you guys so much for your support out there, for watching these shows regularly. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy the informative nature and the news items that you get here, trying to make a one-stop shop for all great prog content. Hopefully you guys are appreciating that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I always want to encourage at the beginning of these videos to subscribe, because it's a great weekly way to keep up with the prog world and to get some music recommendations and to just have a whole bunch of fun with some great quality music. So we'd love to have you on board, and we'd really appreciate the support. And a like on this video really helps us too with the algorithm and all of that stuff, and helps us grow just that much more and become a better channel. So thank you guys for all of that. And now let's, without further ado, jump into the news items this week. Kind of a fun little week, I hope, with some interesting news items that I hope you guys will appreciate. Item number 1 on my prog news headline list: Carl Palmer announces live performances with videos of Greg Lake and Keith Emerson. So I've heard this news kind of go around the prog community a little bit, and I think there's some mixed opinions about how this might go. But the tour is called the Welcome Back My Friends, the Return of Emerson, Lake and Palmer tour, launching on Friday, November 18th, 2022 at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. The tour will actually reunite ELP on stage through modern technology. Of course, Greg Lake and Keith Emerson have passed away. Carl Palmer is the remaining living member of ELP, but they decided to frame a tour where they're going to have, I guess, big video walls that feature live performances from Greg Lake and Keith Emerson from their past, and they're going to mix those performances with Palmer doing some on-stage live drumming to try to reunite ELP, at least in some fashion. So really a good idea of what you might expect from this sort of experience. Paul McCartney did a duet with John Lennon at the end of his recent Got Back tour, where they did this, where they had John Lennon on a big video screen behind Paul McCartney, and they sang along together in that fashion. So this will be much the same way. Carl Palmer will be on stage live drumming, but then you'll have big video screens of past performances from Keith Emerson and Greg Lake to try to recreate the spirit of them performing live together. So some people don't really care for this too much, because it's not quite the same as, of course, experiencing them live. It's a little bit of a pale imitation of what you might expect from a live performance. But some people are excited because it's one of the only ways that you can currently be able to see this sort of performance. And it's still fun to see Carl Palmer, who's very much active in doing his drumming shows live. So whether you like it or not, I think it's a fun, notable experience that's occurring in the prog community, and they already have some dates, and tickets, I believe, are on sale today for all of these different looks like it's a short North American tour. Philadelphia is where it's kicking off Friday, November 18th, but it's going through, New Jersey and New York and Boston and Illinois and Ohio. So should be a pretty fun little tour and experience for ELP fans. And if it's not your thing, then, you can just move on from this and go see a different live show or whatever. But I just think it's fun. The more opportunities are out there, the more chances there are that someone will find something they like. And I never like to put down other people's good time, even if it's not for me necessarily or for you. I still think could be a fun experience for some who, like me, never got to see ELP in their heyday and never really got to see them perform live together. At least I haven't. So it gives you an opportunity in some fashion to experience it and to just respect and appreciate the great catalog and music of ELP. So wanted to mention that at the top of the line here. Item number 2, we're talking about Ayreon releasing a new video for Into the Black Hole featuring Bruce Dickenson. This is from their upcoming newly remixed and remastered reissued version of Universal Migrator Parts 1 and 2, which is a classic album from back in 2000, I believe. Really great. Ayreon, of course, is the brainchild of mastermind Ayreon Anthony Lucassen, a big conceptual piece. He brings together a whole host of musicians and singers and all these classic prog and metal musicians, and does these epic sci-fi concept stories, and they're always really expansive and fun. I love his style, and so this is one of my favorite albums from back then. It came out on the heels of Into the Electric Castle, which is one of my favorite albums, and it's just a really fun story and a really fun group of songs. The part one, the Dream Sequencer, is a bit more of the lighter, proggier stuff that Ayreon's known for, and the part two, Fly to the Migrator, is more of the heavier metal stuff that he does. And so you get to kind of see the both sides of his personality through the music. And so aside from checking out this new lyric video for Into the Black Hole, also this new remixed and remastered album is out for pre-order and will be coming out later in the year with all sorts of different versions. You can go out and pre-order it. There's a 4 LP box set, which is what I pre-ordered personally, with Pink Nebula vinyl and a 5.1 DVD surround mix and a comic book and stickers and all of the bells and whistles. There's also just the standard 2 LP versions of each record. There's art book that features the CDs and all of that stuff. So just a lot of cool variety for the packages that you can choose. Some of the guest musicians that were on this record, along with Bruce Dickenson, we got Floor Jansen from Nightwish, Edward Reekers from Kayak, Damian Wilson from Headspace and Threshold, Neil Morse is on a track, which is a really fun one, Russell Allen from Symphony X, Michael Romeo from Symphony X as well. So should be a really cool time. I know Ayreon, he put out a video about his process and that he really worked hard on these remixes and remastering, and feels like it sounds a lot better with this new quality. So should be a fun time for big Ayreon fans if you're a fan like me. Item number 3, Banco del Mutuo Soccorso share a new single, La Pianura Rossa. This is their second single taken from their upcoming album, Orlando Le Forme dell'Amore. This is an Italian progressive rock band, a classic one. This is their 50th anniversary this year, so they've been around the block. They're one of the most notable Italian progressive rock bands. They're releasing this really cool concept record on September 23rd, which is coming up not too long from now, and this is a really cool taste of that upcoming record. It's a pretty expansive project. It seems like a big musical concept that they've been working on for quite some time, and the lyrics are all in Italian, so it's very true to their original spirit, and really cool to hear them in their original language performing this music. I believe the album will also come with an English translation of the lyrics, so for those of us who don't speak Italian, we could still understand the storyline and what's going on. But the track is really cool. It kind of shifts between like a really cool proggier instrumental stuff to some more acoustic style singing and playing. Really a cool sound, and I really think it's a good sign of things to come for that album. So if you're interested, the album of course is out for pre-order, and I'm going to put that music video for this new single out in the description below, so please check that out as one of my top 5 prog singles for the week. But I wanted to mention that because it's a notable upcoming prog release from a very established heavyweight Italian prog band, so I think a lot of you will be enjoying that one. I wanted to mention kind of a fun little news item here at number 4. Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson play Rush Classics at Taylor Hawkins' tribute show. So Taylor Hawkins is the Foo Fighters drummer who unfortunately passed away, and so they've been doing some epic tribute shows in his honor, and he was a big Rush fan apparently and was really into the band. I think he even played with them at some point. So as part of the tribute, they brought aboard Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson to play some Rush classics, somewhat in his honor, and they, of course, were joined by Dave Grohl, Taylor Hawkins' bandmate, on drums. So it was really cool to see them perform together. I've seen some footage on YouTube, some fan-made videos that are really cool. They played the 2112 Part 1 Overture and Working Man. I believe they also played later with a different drummer, Omar Hakim, a friend of Hawkins, for YYZ or YYZ. Really cool stuff, really interesting to see them playing together and playing some classic Rush material, and great to see that Taylor Hawkins got a really stellar tribute show in his honor. It sounds like it was really amazing. Even just beyond the Rush stuff, there was just a lot of cool material and a lot of great notable musicians helping and doing things. I believe Taylor Hawkins' son also played drums on some stuff and did a great job on that. So I've heard people praising that performance. So a lot of cool stuff to check out if you can find that Taylor Hawkins tribute show. And I believe there's going to be a U.S. Version of the tribute as well coming in Inglewood, California on September 27th. So should be some more interesting, cool musical stuff happening at that concert event as well. And then item number 5, I saw the band UK prog rock veterans Galahad are announcing their new album, The Last Great Adventurer, which is coming out on October 24th, with the digital streaming version following on November 7th. So they're releasing this one. I believe it's up on their Bandcamp page for pre-order. Sounds like it'll be a pretty cool record. The pre-orders are opening up on September 26th, so not too long from now. The Great Adventurer is the first Galahad studio album to feature Mark Spencer on bass guitar, who joins long-established nucleus of Stu Nicholson on vocals, Dean Baker on keyboards, Spencer Luckman on drums, and Lee Abraham on guitar. I really liked their last record in 2018, Seas of Change, which was like a big, long piece of music and really a great conceptual piece that I really respected and appreciated. So that brought some interest towards this band, and I know that they have a following. Really notable, cool band in these more recent prog, like neo-prog setting. So really cool stuff, really interesting to check out. They'll have even a vinyl gatefold LP version hopefully coming out towards the end of 2022 as well. So if you're interested in Galahad and want to check them out, they're going to have some new material for you to look at. So just wanted to put that one out there. And so for the prog singles list, as I've mentioned, the Ayreon track Into the Black Hole from their upcoming remakes of Universal Migrator is going to be one of the prog singles on the list, as well as the Banco del Mutuo Soccorso track that I mentioned up above as well. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard released a new track called Ice 5 that I really like. It's an extended jammy piece, like very laid back and groovy, and I really appreciated it. Of course, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is an Australian psych 6-piece band, a really cool group, one that I've been trying to get into a little bit here and there, but they have such an expansive catalog. They release albums constantly and have like a million albums at this point. In fact, on the heels of this single, they're announced that they are releasing 3 albums coming up this year. They're releasing 3 new albums in October: Ice, Death, Planets, Lungs, Mushrooms, and Lava. That's the title of one of the albums. Laminated Denim and Changes is the third one. So Laminated Denim is an album and Changes is the final. So three albums coming out in the same month, just to showcase how prolific they are. They always are coming out with new material. So but this track is really cool, and it'll be interesting to see how these albums go and what they're like. You know, it seems like they're each going to be their own separate thing. They come out in different weeks throughout October. The first one coming out October 7th, then October 12th, and then October 28th for Changes, which is a conceptual album that the band worked on starting back in 2017. So should be a cool group of albums if you like that sort of psych sound from the band. Of course, saying they're a psych band isn't really accurate because they experiment with tons of different styles. Every album has its own flavor. They've gone into more heavy metal sort of directions. They've gone into more experimental, jazzier directions. They just really fill out the musical palette in a way. So definitely check that one out. I also wanted to point out a single from Grace Hayhurst. I'm in a Battle Against My Brain just came out. A cool video for that I'll put in the description. Grace Hayhurst is a prog multi-instrumentalist who released an EP in 2021 called Existence is Temporary, which is available at, I believe, the band Grace's Bandcamp page. This new track, I'm in a Battle Against My Brain, is available as a CD single from that Bandcamp page. And the video is really cool, and it's a really fun, really quirky song. I really liked it. Similar to something you might hear from Haken, or maybe a heavier, like Porcupine Tree or something like that. So definitely some heavier directions in there, but some quirky keyboards and some great soloing. And just a really cool, interesting track that I'm really into. It looks like Hayhurst worked with Kairos' Shelby Logan Warren and drummer Robin Johnson and guitarist Jolie Frivola on this new single. So those band members from Kairos apparently contributed to this track as well, in different ways, I believe, with some of the mixing and mastering and things of that nature. So cool group of musicians making some cool music. And then finally, I wanted to point attention to Raise the Maze and the new track Letters from the Parking Lot. That video will be linked below. Raise the Maze was formerly Motar, duo vocalist Maria Dickenson and bassist Tariq Raghib. So this is from their new album that's just been released called 7 a.m. Dream, which is available on their Bandcamp page, as well as on, of course, streaming services, which they seem very proud of. A really cool, creative group that's very proggy, very different, but has some interesting lyrical content and maybe more of a jazzy style in sections with a great female vocalist. So really definitely worth checking out if you're into that sort of thing. So yeah, that's the main stuff that I have for you today. Hopefully you find something in there of interest, some new recommendations or new songs to check out. As for the channel itself, I had another top 5 video this week that I really enjoyed talking about. It was non-prog albums by prog musicians was the topic my wife gave me, and I think it sparked some interesting ideas in the comments and such. It was a hard one to really go through and figure out, because it's a complicated topic, because what do you consider prog, what do you consider not prog, who's a prog musician and who's not a prog musician. You know, there's different levels to it that I think made it a little bit difficult to try to match that concept, but I liked a lot of people's ideas in the comments. That really was cool to see, so thank you guys for your support in that. I also released my part 2 video of my new music shuffle for the months of July and August, which was really fun. I really enjoyed a lot of music, and I love those shows as ways to recommend albums to you guys, and it seems like several people were really grateful for that content, because it gives them a chance to check out some good new stuff. So please check out that video. It doesn't get enough love, in my opinion. Those videos, the new music shuffles of the world and some of the more obscure new album reviews, definitely get sidelined for some of my other content, but I really am here to recommend great music to people, and so I hope some of you out there will check it out and find something to love and enjoy from it. So thank you guys again. I think that's all I have for this time around. I'll have another top 5 video coming out next week. It's a little bit more of a obscure topic, a newer artist that I'm covering the top 5 of. So some of you might not know that artist very well, but I recommend watching it anyways, and maybe you'll be introduced to a great new artist and some of their catalogs. So should be a fun one. And I also have a classic prog song that me and Jan are doing in our next Prog Song Sunday, so we're really excited to share that one with you guys, and hopefully you guys are just enjoying whatever you got going in your life right now. So thank you all for listening and watching, and just keep enjoying the music. Thank you guys. Bye everybody.